Hello dear students, in the previous session we had discussed the topic of epsilon ijk symbol, which is nothing but Levi-Civita or permutation symbol, right? So let us recall the definition once. Epsilon ijk takes three values according to the definition. One is 0 and 1 and -1, right? It takes the value 0 if any two or more, or we can say if any two or all variables are equal. That means epsilon 112, epsilon 221, epsilon 331, epsilon 121, so on, like this, isn't it? So it will take the value -1 if ijk or an even permutation, or we can also say that ikj arranged in a acyclic manner. I will use the word acyclic manner, okay? And epsilon ijk takes the value 1 if ijk or an odd permutation. In other words, I can say that arrangement of ijk is in cyclic manner. That is nothing but ijk. If you have a clockwise direction from I to k, then it is nothing but a cyclic manner, or you can say that odd permutation. If it is in anti-clockwise direction, it is nothing but your acyclic manner, or you can say that the arrangement of ijk is even permutation. Okay, so this is how we defined epsilon ijk symbol in the previous session, and we have seen that we can express epsilon ijk symbol using matrix form, and we can express our scalar triple product using epsilon ijk symbol, and also we have seen some 27 relations from the scalar triple product, isn't it? So now we will use the concept of epsilon ijk symbol. Also we will use the delta ij symbol concept, and we will solve some problems on this. Okay, the first problem is we have to express vector a cross vector b and scalar triple product. We have to express these two things in terms of epsilon ijk. The question may be in this form in order to say the vectors are in triple product, or they may ask a dot b cross c, express a dot b cross c or a cross b dot c in terms of epsilon ijk. Both the questions are similar. Okay, symbolically we will express scalar triple product in this way, so don't get confused with that. So now let's start with a cross b. I will consider vector a cross b. Okay, so for any vector a and b, it may be any vector. Here we are considering a and b. For any vector a and b with components, I will denote the component as ai and bj. Okay, any vectors a and b with components ai and bj, we can express this as a is equal to ai ei and b is equal to bj ej. Okay, so this will become ai ei cross bj ej. So I can write this as ai bj. I will take one side since these two are the components, and I will write base vectors like this ei cross ej. So in the previous session we have discussed that ei cap cross ej cap is nothing but epsilon ijk ek cap, right? So in the place of ei cross ej, for more understanding or for better understanding, I will write cap for base vectors. So ei cap cross ej cap is nothing but epsilon ijk ek cap, right? So now we know that I can change the suffixes if the suffixes are dummy suffixes, right? Here I will change I, j, k, all three are dummy suffixes. So I will change this as aj, bk, epsilon I, j, k, ei, right? We can write in this form for a cross b, or we can write vector a cross bi is equal to aj, bk, epsilon ijk. This is nothing but, we will call this as, the symbol epsilon ijk, aj, bk denotes the ith component of your vector a cross b. Okay, I hope you are understanding the concept. So you can stop here also, no problem. But if I remove the base vector, then I should mention the resultant vector is the ith component. Okay. So one more thing is, since I have changed the dummy suffixes, you can observe here. I became j here, j became k here, and k became I here, right? So obviously here also I should rearrange the terms, but I have retained epsilon ijk as it is. Why? Because if I write epsilon jki, this is in a cyclic manner, jki, right? So in cyclic manner we know that epsilon ijk is equal to epsilon jki, this is equal to epsilon kij. So in the place of epsilon jki, I can write epsilon ijk itself, right? So this is how we represent a cross b in terms of epsilon ijk. Similarly, I have to express my scalar triple product in terms of epsilon ijk. For that, what I will do is, I will use a cross b from this, and we will continue further. Okay. So let me consider scalar triple product of ABC. This is nothing but vector a cross vector b dot vector c. I can write this as vector a cross b ith component into vector c ith component, right? So what is vector a cross b ith component from the previous proof? This is nothing but epsilon I, j, k, aj, bk. Now this c ith component is a new vector, so I can write this as ci, isn't it? Again, you can observe here I, j, k, all three suffixes are dummy suffixes, so I can interchange that. What I will do is, I will write it in an order way, that's it. So vector a, vector b, vector c is equal to epsilon ijk, ai, bj, ck. Here also j change it to I, k change it to j, and I change it to k. So this is nothing but epsilon jki is equal to epsilon I, jk, since it is in a cyclic manner, right? So in the place of epsilon jki, I have written epsilon ijk itself. Is that clear? So this is how we express our A cross B and scalar triple product in terms of epsilon ijk. Now let's move to next problem. That is, we have to show that epsilon ijk is equal to determinant of ei cap dot e1, ei cap dot e2 cap, ei cap dot e3 cap, ej cap dot e1 cap, ej cap dot e2 cap, ej cap dot e3 cap, and ek cap dot e1 cap, ek cap dot e2 cap, ek cap dot e3 cap. First I have to show that epsilon ijk is equal to determinant of these terms, and this is equal to delta I1, delta I2, delta I3, delta J1, delta J2, delta J3, delta K1, delta K2, delta K3. These two things I have to prove now. Okay, for that what I will do is, first I will consider my scalar triple product. So we know that we can express scalar triple product using a determinant form, right? So A dot vector B cross C is equal to A1 B1 C1, A2 B2 C2. Oh, sorry, a small correction. I will write it here. A1 A2 A3, B1 B2 B3, C1 C2 C3. I can express my scalar triple product in this form, right? So now AI is equal to A dot EI, EI cap. So this is how we can express our vectors. Okay. Expressing AI is equal to A dot EI cap is nothing but this concept comes under your parallelogram law of addition of vectors. Okay, there it is mentioned that every vector A can be expressed as a linear combination of E1, E2, E3. That means your base vectors. So every vector A can be expressed as a linear combination of your base vectors. That means I can represent A as A1 E1 plus A2 E2 plus A3 E3. This is nothing but expressing the vectors in a linear combinations, right? So here A1, A2, A3 are some real numbers representing the projection of your vector A, right, on the axis. So this is called as component of A along E1, E2, E3, right? So if I employ the summation convention to this expression, I can write this as A is equal to AI EI, right? So this is how we represent vector A. If I have vector A1 alone, then again I can represent vector A1 as some real number A into base vector E1 cap, right? So using this procedure, here this determinant can be rewritten as A dot E1 cap, A dot E2 cap, A dot E3 cap, B dot E1 cap, B dot E2 cap, B dot E3 cap, and C dot E1 cap, C dot E2 cap, C dot E3 cap. This is nothing but my vector A dot vector B cross vector C. Right? Now what we will do is, for our convenience, we will consider, or we will set vector A as EI cap, vector B as EJ cap, and vector C as EK cap. Substitute this in this determinant now. So the determinant became EI cap dot E1 cap, EI cap dot E2 cap, EI cap dot E3 cap, EJ cap dot E1 cap, EJ cap dot E2 cap, EJ cap dot E3 cap. Similarly, EK cap dot E1 cap, EK cap dot E2 cap, EK cap dot E3 cap. So in the LHS side, EI cap dot EJ cap cross EK cap. From epsilon ijk symbol, this is nothing but epsilon ijk into EI cap, EJ cross EK. So this is EI cap, right? So this is how we have on our LHS side. So EI cap dot EI cap is 1. Finally, I am left out with epsilon ijk. So this epsilon ijk is equal to determinant of this value. Now we have to prove that this determinant is equal to this determinant, right? So now remember the definition of your delta ij symbol. There we have come across that we can express delta ij as EI dot EJ, right? So now here I have EI dot E1. That means in the place of J I have 1. So this is nothing but delta I1. Similarly, the whole thing become delta I1, delta I2, delta I3, delta J1, delta J2, delta J3, delta K1, delta K2, delta K3. So this is the second part we are supposed to prove. So this is how we prove the identities. Okay. So now let's move to next problem. The next problem is we have to prove that Aij is equal to Aji if and only if epsilon ijk ak is equal to Ajk is equal to 0. So we have direct part as well as converse part here. First what I will do is, I will consider first I will consider epsilon ijk Ajk is equal to 0, and we will prove that Aij is equal to Aji. Okay. So for that, what I will consider epsilon ijk Ajk. Okay. So if this is 0, then I should prove that Aij is equal to Aji. So you can observe here J and K are dummy suffixes and I is free suffix. So for I is equal to 1, what will happen to this whole thing? Epsilon ijk Ajk will be equal to epsilon 1 jk Ajk. This is equal to, so since J and K are dummy suffixes, I will take summation over J and K. Summation J is equal to 1 to 3. Summation K is equal to 1 to 3. Epsilon 1 jk Ajk. Expand the summation now. You will get, first I will return J is equal to 1 to 3 as it is. So here you will get epsilon 1 j1 Aj1 plus epsilon 1 j2 Aj2 plus epsilon 1 j3 Aj3. Now for these three terms I have to expand for j is equal to 1 to 3, right? So now this will become epsilon 1 1 1 a 1 1. I'm applying summation, I'm expanding for j to first term, okay, plus epsilon 1 2 1 a 2 1 plus epsilon 1 3 1 a 3 1. Similarly, if I consider the second term, epsilon 1 1 2 a 1 2 plus epsilon 1 2 2 a 2 2 plus epsilon 1 3 2 a 3 2. Now the third term will be epsilon 1 1 3 a 1 3 plus epsilon 1 2 3 a 2 3 plus epsilon 1 3 3 a 3 3. Right? Now use the definition of your epsilon ijk. If two or all variables are repeated, your epsilon ijk takes the value 0. So this is 0, 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 and this is 0, and this is 0. So you will left out with two terms, that is epsilon 132 a32 plus epsilon 123 a23. So 1 2 3 is in cyclic manner, right? 1 2 3. This is in cyclic manner. So here the value of epsilon 1 2 3 is 1, right? But what about 1 3 2? This is in acyclic manner. So epsilon 1 3 2 takes minus 1 value. So this becomes a23 minus a32. Since epsilon ijk ajk is equal to 0, this will become a23 is equal to a32. In general, I can write this as aij is equal to aji. You will get similar relation if you take I is equal to 2 and I is equal to 3. We will not do the same procedure for I is equal to 2 and I is equal to 3. We will write similarly a13 is equal to a31 and one more is a12 is equal to a21. From these three relations, in general I can write that aij is equal to aji. That is nothing but I can express that as epsilon ijk ajk is equal to a23 minus a32 if I is equal to 1, a31 is equal to a13 if I is equal to 2, and a12 is equal to a21 if I is equal to 3, or make this as minus itself. Then you can write that since epsilon ijk ajk is equal to 0, call this relation as 1. So relation 1 becomes a23 is equal to a32, a31 is equal to a13, a12 is equal to a21. In general, this is nothing but aij is equal to aji. So now I have to consider the converse part. That means I should assume that aij is equal to aji, and I have to prove that epsilon ijk ajk is equal to 0, right? So if aij is equal to aji, then from this we can write a23 is equal to a32, a12 is equal to a21, a31 is equal to a13, right? So now if these two are equal from this relation, if these two are equal, then obviously consequently we can write that epsilon ijk ajk is equal to 0. So this is all about this problem. Okay, we will solve some more problems in the next session. Thank you.